Surgeon Vice-Admiral Arti Sarin made history on October 1, 2024 by assuming the role of Director General of the Armed Force Medical Services, becoming the first woman to hold this prestigious position. With a distinguished career spanning 38 years, she has served in all three branches of the Indian Armed Forces and has held key medical leadership roles, including Director General of Medical Services for both the Navy and Air Force. An alumni of the Armed Force Medical College, Pune, she is a noted expert in radio diagnosis and radiation oncology.
It feels absolutely wonderful that I have been able to be appointed as the first lady to be the Director General Armed Forces Medical Services. I will look at digitization, which is one of my primary focus areas. Where I would like to digitize, I would like to amalgamate the communication between all the three forces, the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. My first priority would be to stabilize what has already been put down by my predecessors. At the outset, thank you so much for your congratulatory message. It feels absolutely wonderful that I have been able to be appointed as the first lady to be the Director General Armed Forces Medical Services, to be able to do and carry out what I envisaged and wanted to do for the medical services. I thank the government for this opportunity that they have given me, and it has been a long journey for me. My colleagues in the Navy call it the rule of two, that I have first of all been in all the three services. I have served the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, the Indian Air Force, and then again the Indian Navy. Following which I've had 2 degrees, 2 MDs. I have had 2 appointments as the Command Medical Officer. I've had 2 appointments as in commanding units, and I've had 2 appointments in being Director General of the Medical Services of the Air Force as well as the Navy. My journey has been long, but it has been extremely fruitful. I have learned a lot of experience on the way, initially as a specialist treating patients, and then towards the latter half doing a lot of administration of troops as well as looking after hospitals as well as operations. And at every level, I have tried to raise the bar to reach whatever I have at the moment, what everybody is saying is the pinnacle of one's career in the Armed Forces Medical Services.
Ma'am, as DGFMS, you are in charge of, you are the senior most doctor or medical officer in 3 armed forces. What will be your priorities as the DGFMS, and how would you want to see the medical arm of the services to be like in next, say, 5 years, 10 years?
So as my role is, I am responsible to the Ministry of Defence in terms of policies that I set out in terms of medical care provided to the armed forces, in terms of personnel and the dependents, both in war and peace. My first priority would be to stabilize what has already been put down by my predecessors, to take forward what they have put down by providing what is now in the world a holistic medical care, where I would like to give them primary health care, promotive health care, preventive health care, secondary and tertiary health care, in whatever way and however way it is applicable to the places where they are posted, whether it's in peace or whether it's in war. I would also pay attention to the health care of veterans, which is another very important aspect of looking after them. I would also look at aligning myself with the vision document that my directorate has prepared towards the Viksit Bharat 2047 program. I will look at digitization, which is one of my primary focus areas. Where I would like to digitize, I would like to amalgamate the communication between all the three forces, the Army, the Navy and the Air Force, where all the three medical services could communicate with each other and produce the best results and the highest standards of medical care that can be provided to the armed forces medical personnel and their dependents.
Ma'am, a few years back, from 2020 onwards, we had seen the armed forces medical services. It was in a major way involved in protecting the armed forces, the troops, the personnel officers from the pandemic of COVID. And that was a big achievement looking at the numbers and the kind of operations they were carrying out at that time.
Yes.
Now also we are seeing monkeypox and other disease pandemics spreading in different parts of the world. Any preparations for this and in general to be able to counter any pandemics if anything of that sort happens?
So we all had our experiences in 20 and 21 regarding the pandemic. I was initially in Southern Naval Command in 2020, where I managed to, we had a lot of preventive measures which were taken. We also were engaged in the Samudra Setu program, where we had to, evacuate the foreign, the expats who came back to India. So we had a lot of experience with that. We wrote down our experiences, and now we've converted them into standard operating protocols, which we have, which we knew that for the future we may require them. Then in 21, when I became the commandant of INHS Ashwini, we dealt with the phase 2, which everybody knows how difficult it was for everybody. So we have many plans in place if there is a sudden onslaught of anything. We have preventive plans. We are following all the WHO guidelines and the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And I don't think we will have any issues in, whenever the situation arises.
And recently, when there was an earthquake in Turkey, we saw our doctors acting as ambassadors, and India got a lot of goodwill due to the efforts of Indian doctors who were posted in, who were deployed in Turkey for relief operations. Now we are seeing a lot of conflicts and other things happening. If need be, can India set up, like the armed forces, help in setting up medical facilities and other things in foreign locations if required?
If we are tasked to do so, we have the capacity to do so. If we are tasked to do so by the government, we will be able to do so.
And ma'am, yesterday we saw that there was this Navika Sagar Parikrama, the second global circumnavigation by 2 lady officers. The expedition was flagged off yesterday from Goa, and I could see you were there in the footage. Can you please tell us what is your link to this expedition, ma'am?
I have a long association with sailing. Of course, I'm a naval daughter and I'm a naval officer, though my interest in it came up much later. It started with looking after the doyen of sailing and circumnavigation, that is Admiral Arti. I used to look after him when he was admitted at INHS Ashwini, and this is in reference to the first Sagar Parikrama that happened, that Navika Sagar Parikrama, the first one, which happened in 2017. And every day I would know where the boat was and what issues that they had or challenges that they faced. He would share them with me, and I never knew that I would be connected with it in some way. I slowly started getting invited to talk at the functions where these girls, when they completed the circumnavigation, came. And after that, I was very pleasantly asked to volunteer to make a sail from Kochi to Lakshadweep in order to encourage more young lady officers to volunteer. So I sailed as in the rank of Rear Admiral for 3 days in a 6-man Indian naval sailing vessel called Bulbul from Cochin to Lakshadweep. And I think the girls, both Dilna and Rupa, say that they were encouraged by seeing me sail. And sure enough, in 21 September, they volunteered. They were trained for 3 years. My medical officers have trained them to even handle all medical emergencies on board in this sail of theirs, which is going to be 23,000 nautical miles over the next 7 to 8 months. I spoke to them yesterday too. I reassured them. I reassured their parents. They are all set and ready. And in fact, I have learnt a lot from them in terms of looking at people who can be so inspired to take up such a challenge, such adventure, with so much of physical and mental resilience. We have a lot to learn from them.
And you sailed as a Rear Admiral?
I sailed as a Rear Admiral.
That's an achievement. Ma'am, as you said, a lot of young women officers, girls, college students, they all look for inspiration. What would be your message to the girls? We are seeing a lot of them joining the armed forces now in all arms. What would be your message to those girls about the armed forces?
I would tell all the girls that the armed forces is a fantastic profession to take on. It is not only a profession, but it is a way of life. You learn discipline, you get an education, you learn how to behave, you learn how to work as a team. Becomes a really good way of life. It is a stable job with financial independence, a lot of teamwork, a huge family that comes to your support whenever you want, with healthcare. So I would suggest, and I would tell all young girls, that this is one where all your dreams can be encouraged. They can be all amalgamated into one. It's a level playing field. And I'm here as an example that if you be professionally involved in what you do and build yourself, build your career, keep upgrading your skills, keep climbing higher and higher, you will definitely be very happy in this profession. And it's my messages to all the young doctors there. Please join the Army Medical Corps, serve the nation to protect the protectors. I am sure that you will be very happy and professionally satisfied.